I realized, Steve, that a lot of people know what to do, but they don't do what they know. That most people have forgotten more about personal development and growth and transformation and money and wellness, whatever they're hearing, than most of the people that they know, because common sense is not common practice. How do you get yourself to overcome self-sabotage, procrastination, and actually get something done? And so I would end with this. Limitless is not about being perfect, it's about progress. But in what area of your life, if you're still listening to this, do you feel like you're stuck, that you're not making progress? You don't have to share this, but I know you're very vulnerable, but is there an area of your life you feel like you're in a box? And it could be you're learning. You might feel like, I wish I could learn faster, remember better, read faster.
I wish I was more organized. If you could see what my suitcase looks like right now, my cameraman walked into my room, it's like a fucking hurricane had hit the room.
Right.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
And the organization also will help with your focus and everything else, because your external world affects your internal world. So imagine everybody right now listening. Let's make this practical. Where are you stuck?
I'm going to admit something I've never admitted. When I connect my AirPods to my iPhone, it says Apple AirPods, brackets, 23. Because that is my 23rd pair of Apple AirPods. So that's how unorganized I am. For me to keep hold of those little things, it's an impossibility. So anyway, sorry.
No. And we can work on that also, because,
please.
I mean, it's
expensive.
Well, the thing when I teach meditation or I do mindfulness, it's not just about that 20 minutes you're in silence externally and internally, whatever's going on. You could bring mindfulness into your eating. I show people just challenge them to brush their teeth with the opposite hand. Maybe it engages a different part of your brain, right? The opposite side, but it forces people to be present, and I think flexing that presence muscles and that mindfulness muscles first thing in the morning is just very important, especially when you could tag it to a habit that you're already doing. And so eating, so it's not just what you eat. Ask the other questions, right? It's why you eat, it's where you eat, it's when you eat, it's how you eat also as well. Some people are so stressed out about their diet, measuring every micronutrient and everything, and so stressed out about some ideology that it negates any health benefit they're getting from it, because they have so much anxiety around eating, right? But it's also not only why you eat, but how you eat. Some people, as they're eating, they're working at the same time. And you've heard about the sympathetic, parasympathetic, right? In terms of our nervous system, the sympathetic is kind of like your beta, your fight or flight, but your sympathetic is rest and digest. But some people, when they're working, they're not even that parasympathetic place where they could rest and digest their food, because they're also, while they're doing this, they're working and stressed out or on conversations or anything. So, going back to this, I want everyone just to imagine an area of their life. This is what I would teach on my professional tombstone, is the Limitless Model. It's a Venn diagram, 3 intersecting circles. And I want everyone to imagine an area of your life where you feel stuck in a box. Your income, your impact, your learning, your finance, whatever it happens to be, your relationships. Where do you feel like you're not making progress? And by definition, that box, it's a cube, right? And that cube is 3-dimensional, right? So the 3 forces that contain that box, that's keeping you in there, it's the same 3 forces that will liberate you out. Now, the 3 forces that I'm talking about are the Limitless Model. And if you're watching this on video, I'm going to make 3 intersecting circles on a pad of paper. So 3 intersecting circles. Most people know this as a Venn diagram. It kind of looks like Mickey Mouse, 2 ears and a head. And so these are the 3 forces that will liberate you to help you become limitless in any area of your life. And this works for a person, a family, a team, a nation, a world. Okay, so it could be a micro or macro. And this is how real transformation happens. So here's the thing. You're taking something specific, maybe your income, or your reading speed, or your memory. Let's say your memory, you feel like you're in a box, you can't get out of it, right? The first circle, the top left, I'm gonna give you 3 M's, is your mindset, all right? So your first circle is your mindset. And your mindset, I am gonna define as your set of assumptions and attitudes you have about something. Your attitudes, assumptions about
me being unorganized.
Yeah, exactly. And that's going to contain you in that box, right? Because it's defining the borders and boundaries of what's possible. Okay. So if somebody could also, whose finances, their mindset and assumptions and attitudes about money. Mm-hmm. If people think money is the root of all evil, or money doesn't grow on trees, whatever their mindset is, it could contain them in that box. If their memory, if they feel like they're limited in a box, it could be, I'm getting too old. I'm not smart enough, right? That's mindset. attitudes and assumptions about something, especially attitudes, assumptions besides your attitude, assumption about a relationship. What does that mean? It means I lost my freedom. Does it mean whatever it means? That's going to affect your quality of box. But the other part of it is your mindset and attitudes, assumptions about yourself. So 3 things I would put in mindset: what I believe is possible. So you could believe it's possible for, Steve to have like millions of followers and make all this money or whatever, but you might not believe it's possible for you. So what I believe is possible, what I believe I'm capable of, because those could be different. And the third thing is what I believe I deserve. Like, people don't feel like they deserve to have this body or this business, or they have imposter syndrome, or they don't think they deserve to be happy in a relationship. That's going to affect all behaviors, belief driven. Right? In order to get a new result, you have to do a new behavior. In order to do that new behavior, you need a belief that allows that to be possible. So that's mindset.
So that's Mickey Mouse's left ear.
Right. Now, Mickey's right ear is going to be the second M, which is motivation.
Okay.
Huge. Because you could have a limitless mindset about money, about change, about your health, your memory, and you're not motivated to get out of that box, so you're not getting out of that box. So motivation, people talk about it like a warm bath. For me, motivation is very structured. It's only 3 factors that you have to unlimit. The formula for limitless motivation: to motivate yourself to work out, to read, to meditate, or to motivate someone to buy, or your kids to clean their room. 3 things: P times E times S3. Are you tired of constantly feeling overwhelmed by your never-ending to-do list? Do you struggle to find enough hours in the day to accomplish everything you need? But what if I told you there's a solution that can help you take back control of your time, your focus, your productivity? I'd like to introduce you to Kwik Productivity. This 10-day course is designed to provide you with the proven strategies you need to get more done in less time without burning out. So if you're ready to learn to get the most out of your time, your tasks, and your life, then don't wait any longer. Click the link below to learn more and secure your spot and your access right now. The letter P times the letter E times S3. And what does this mean? And now see yourself in that box. If you're not motivated, you're procrastinating. The P is purpose. Start with why, as Simon talks about. But if you don't feel it, like I saw somebody on the street the other day, and I didn't even recognize him, because when I knew him years ago, he was so unhealthy. I mean, like the worst extreme. And all friends would do interventions, give him suggestions. He would ignore all of it. He would take pride in being unhealthy, right? I see him on the street. He lost all his weight. He looks younger. I didn't even recognize him. And I'm just like, well, what have you been doing? He tells me all this stuff. I'm like, we've been telling you for like 20 years to do this stuff. Why are you all of a sudden? And he's like, I came home. Tell me about this work trip. He came home and his daughter's like crying hysterically. And she had a dream that he died, right? And wasn't there for him. And that was purpose, right? So that's the thing. We are not logical. We are biological. Dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins, we could get that through life circumstances or to focus on something that drives us. So
sometimes we need a rock bottom moment to get a new purpose in life. That kind of explains why that is the case. So many of my guests here, when I hear about their life stories, say this particular thing happened and then my life changed. And what you're saying there is it was an increase in their purpose.
I would say there's some things in my experience that you could only learn through a storm. Like some storms come to teach us things, or to clear a path for us. But certainly rock bottom is an interesting perspective. We talked about the 6 thinking hats, to be able to look at something from a different point of view.
Okay.
So the purpose, so feel the purpose. And so just like people don't buy logically, they buy emotionally. Get them emotional, right? But then if you don't have an emotional reason to read that book, emotional reason to remember that name, emotional reason to do that.
Okay, so E is emotion, right?
No, the P is the purpose, which is emotion. The E is energy.
Okay.
So some people aren't motivated because they're exhausted.
Okay.
Like the idea here is like I mentioned newborn baby. If you haven't slept for 3 nights in a row, you're not going to be very motivated to work out.
Yeah.
Right? If you had a big processed meal and you're a food coma, you're not going to be very motivated to study or read that day.
Okay, so like physiological energy.
Perfect.
Okay.
So, and remember, you don't have energy, you do it. So the things we talked about, reducing stress, getting good night's sleep, eating the best brain foods.
S3.
Now, S3, somebody could have limitless purpose. They know why they do it. They're doing the right things for the right reasons, and they could have an unlimited energy and still not be motivated because they're overwhelmed or because they're confused. Maybe that goal is too big. They want to meet their soulmate and live happily ever after. That's way too big, right? They want to make the next unicorn. That's way too big, right? On Dragon's Den, whatever. S3 stands for small, simple steps. Because often what stalls us is we're intimidated or we're confused, and a confused mind doesn't do anything, right? Even if you're marketing to somebody, give them purpose, have them energy, meaning having resources, capital, but are you making it so simple they can't fail? Small, simple steps, right? Because if you make that too confusing, they won't go do anything. So a small, simple step, this is how you find it, with a question. I ask myself this question every day. When I get confused or I get overwhelmed, I say, what is the tiniest action I could take right now that will give me progress towards this goal where I can't fail? What's the tiniest action I could take right now that will give me progress towards this goal where I can't fail? So let's say somebody doesn't work out, right? Because this is beyond, that's too big of a jump. A small, simple step, put on their running shoes. Maybe somebody, leaders or readers, they're inspired now to say that they're going to read every day for an hour. That's too big. Maybe a small, simple step, opening up the book, reading one line. Can't get your kids to floss their teeth? Get them to floss one tooth, right? Or put one sock in the hamper, to get clean. Because remember the Zeigarnik effect? Nobody's going to stop at one tooth. They're going to go to completion. So I believe little by little, a little becomes a lot, and that's the key for motivation.
Mindset, motivation.
And then the last things, the head there, is the methods. And I put that last because a lot of people know the methods, but they're not doing it because they either don't have the right mindset or they don't have the right motivation. Now, here's the reason why I share this, and I'll put this on my professional tombstone, is because this is the gap between what keeps people limited to limitless. Meaning any area of your life, you control the controllables, right? And what you could always control is your mindset, your motivation, and the methods you're using to reach that goal. So what I would do with this is I would put goal on top. And then you could even use this as a role modeling. I could listen to all your podcasts and discern and elicit what is their mindset, what is their beliefs and attitudes, assumptions about that topic, money, Ray Dalio, whoever you're talking to, right? And then I would say, what's their what is the purpose? What are their small, simple steps? And then the methods that they're using, because the methods that work today, they want the methods that worked 10 years ago in marketing aren't necessarily the same methods that will work for today, right? Or investing. Or in wellness, because there's a big information upgrade. So my message for everybody is the past few years have been very frightening for a lot of people. And out of that fear, I feel like they've downgraded their dreams to meet this current situation. And I think that's the wrong approach. You shouldn't be downgrading your dreams to meet the current situation. You should be thinking, how do I upgrade my mindset? How do I upgrade my motivation? How do I upgrade the methods I'm using to be able to meet those bold, audacious goals?